It's not often that a saloon gets a second chance at life.
I mean, you came out here, you didn't know if you were going to get a handshake or a knife. The Mexican Mafia was this was their headquarters.
The landscape of America's West is dotted with bars that shuttered because of time or because of their reputation.
In San Antonio, though, a historic bar with one of the worst reputations in the city rose from the ashes in 2011 and has become one of the jewels of the famed Riverwalk. The bar is the Esquire Tavern.
The building itself dates back to the mid-19th century, and there was nothing really significant about it until 1933, the day after prohibition was repealed. The Georges family, which is our locals in San Antonio, they actually opened up this spot that's known as the Esquire. They're Greek immigrants. They tried to open up a bar on Houston Street about 2 years prior to the Esquire opening, but the city didn't allow them. So the city gave them the rights to open up the bar here on Commerce Street. And so they opened the building and they opened up to the Esquire. And there was a line around the door, probably about 2 blocks to get into the Esquire, because let's face it, it was a dry, 12 years in the country, so people were just knocking on the door to drink. And thus began the history of the Esquire. The Esquire itself has a very interesting history, and from the VIP room that is no longer in existence to stabbings and shootings.
The Esquire's past reflected San Antonio's own past, which was connected to some of the most notorious gangsters in the 1930s, who happened to buy their guns not too far from the Esquire. Gangs continued to be a problem in the 1960s right up to the 1980s and 90s, with some of the most notorious and dangerous dominating the city.
Back there was the Mexican Mafia hangout, and back there all kinds of nefarious acts occurred, such as drug dealing, prostitution. As I mentioned, there was a VIP room, and in the VIP room, it was above the restroom. The restroom was actually towards the back of the establishment, and above that actual establishment, the bathroom, was a little loft. And in that loft was a bed and a sink. So use your imagination.
Luckily, that past is a thing of the past. In 2008, the Esquire, which had closed in 2006 as a notorious dive bar where people expected trouble, was bought by San Antonio architect and developer Chris Hill.
The place closed down in 2006. The place was dilapidated. The floor was sinking in. It was horrible. The ceiling, the roof, everything was just going out. So my boss, Chris Hill, who is a proprietor, he is the visionary that brought the Esquire, who bought it and brought it to its former glory. And he's been working on this project ever since 2006, from putting in support beams in the basement to picking out all the wood and the taxidermy.
The bar came back to life in 2011, reflecting the age that it originally opened in. Hill brought in designers who created a custom but vintage look.
The furnishings were left alone, simply restored, including the very famous bar, which holds the Guinness Book of World Records for being the longest bar in Texas.
Aside from a full kitchen serving upscale cuisine, the bar focuses on craft cocktails that give creative variations on classic drinks. Like Jared's spin on the classic Negroni, the Mas Chingoni.
The Mas Chingoni is a really great cocktail that has añejo tequila, Aperol, and sweet vermouth. Basically, it's a spin-off of a Negroni, hence the Chingoni. Today I'm going to be making the Mas Chingoni, which is one of our classic it's one of our cocktails we do here at the Esquire. It's nothing classic at all about it, but it's a rendition to a classic cocktail from the Negroni. The Negroni dates back to the early 20th century, as I was saying earlier. So this is just to show you how much I love the Negroni. I wanted to make a cocktail that's very similar to that, using some spirits that I really enjoy using, such as añejo, tequila, and mezcal. So we're going to start with 3/4 ounce of a really great sweet vermouth known as Carpano Antica, which is one of the oldest sweet vermouths on the market. Followed by Siembra Azul Añejo, 18 months in American oak barrels. And then a 3/4 ounce of Aperol. And as I express my love for mezcal, I use a 1/4 ounce of mezcal in the cocktail, just as a flavor additive. There you go. All right, we're ready to stir it up. And where we go. Notice I hold the cocktail, actually the glass at the bottom, so that I don't warm up the cocktail with my finger. And we use large format ice, so we're gonna get a nice piece of ice here. Maybe back in the day, the old Esquire, the bartenders would grab the ice with their hands, but we're not gonna do that here. And pour that on top. Last but not least is a grapefruit peel. Try it out. Yeah, it's pretty chingon. It's pretty good.
Jared's drink kind of typifies the Esquire. While it's based on something very historical, it's been improved and taken to a whole new level. The Esquire's been improved through lighting, through attention to detail, through the people it's hired, but it's never lost its connection to its own past, the good and the bad.
There's a lot to see in San Antonio, to be sure, but put the Esquire Tavern on the top of your list.